So you can see we have the navbar, and this is very natural, and it makes it more sense for us to read our own code that we've written. Okay, now let's go back and see how are we progressing with our application. All right, so right now we have the navbar displaying. Let's see what next do we want to display as a component. We'll come back and make some fixes though. I see a jumbotron here, so I'll copy that jumbotron here. Okay, I can copy it and create a component for the jumbotron as well, but do I want to create a component for the jumbotron? Do I want to do that? This, if we even want, we can call it section. I mean, it's a header. We can even call it header. Okay, people prefer calling it the header, so we can call it header. I mean, that is just the top part of the screen, this part of the application that is working. Okay, so we can just copy the header and then paste it in our right after our navbar component. We can paste it here, I mean here, and it will work very fine. Okay, let's go back and see how are we doing with our React app. Okay, it says that the star prop expects a mapping from star properties to values, not a string for. Let me see. So we have like we've written some CSS in here, and it wouldn't work. That's what they are trying to tell us, that we need to find a better way of writing this. Okay. So what can we do? I think what I can do is that, what am I doing here? I mean, I like to make my code natural. I think I was just trying to add a height, right? Let me go back. So a height of 400 pixels. Okay. Why don't we cut off everything here? Okay. And then in here, we have something called height of 400. So this is going to be a class, right? And so, which means in my index.html, that is the one in my public folder, I can come here and add a class. The class I'm going to add is going to be called .h-400. Okay, and I'll paste in the code here. So this is a valid CSS syntax, right? So we've solved the issue that we were facing. We've solved it like that. So we can, so notice the way React was crying that we added a style. So make sure you don't just add styles, to your stuff like that. I'll find a better solution for it, but this is solution number one that can help you. Okay, you can indent this code better, but I think I should also try indenting it. Let me push this guy in there, and this guy to come in as a child. I like doing this. I think there's a better way of indenting code, right? There are plugins that can help you to always, when you just save your work, it will indent the code for you. Okay, all right, so you can check on them. Visual Studio plugins that helps in indenting code. Okay, but with this, actually, I've indented the code the way I want it to be. Let's see. I think I can still indent it a bit, like this, and this to go in. Oops, please. So you can do this on your own. I just want you to have the feel of what I'm doing right now. This is empty. We can remove it entirely. Okay, we can remove it entirely, but because my name is Daoud and Idris, I will leave it. Okay, and this is the header. Okay, so we can now push the header in there. So point number one, you know how to create a component right now. If you want to make this header more readable, right, and keep this code very clean, you know what to do. It's just simple as what, instead of putting the header here, okay, what are you trying to do? I think this is like I don't know, can we describe this? Does anyone have a better description of this section? Is there any natural name that you think we can give to it? Is it greetings or is it welcome? I don't know. If you have a better name, we can put that name there. Like, it should feel very natural. We can put that name there and convert this into a component. So point number one, I can just cut this, and let's imagine that it is going to be called what? Maybe open message. Okay, So maybe it's going to be called open message. Let's name it this. You know our React is going to break. I don't know. It's going to break because we don't have this file, but we are referencing it. We know very well that we are going to keep it inside the import. And so we will import open message from the React component. So we will put this inside our React component file. We are going to build it as a component, and we will call it open message. All right, I will save my work. My React is going to break because I don't have that file. So I need to go into the components folder and create a new component. So what did we say it is? Open message. Please, if you come up with a better name, let me know. I just want to make sure that this how to create a component is getting into your memory. Remember, so all you need to do is to say import React from the React package that we installed. Okay, and then you have to create a class. Remember, we need to export this class since it's going to be, so we say export default and we say class, and we will call this to extend the React. So it should extend the React dot component. All right. So with this in mind, you know, for every React component class, it also expects you to have a render function. So you need to get it into your memory. And remember, this is crying once again because we don't have the return statement. Okay. And in the return statement, we can make sure to paste in the code that we wanted. Okay. So with this in mind, we've created another React component called what? It is called, what was the name of the class? So export default. What are we doing? We need to give it a name. Yeah. So after the class, make sure you give it a name. Sorry. So what is the name of this class? It's going to be called open. I'll save my work and I'll go back to my web browser to see whether everything, you see everything has displayed back. But once again, when we check, we have 2 React components added. This should help you to be able to solve any, assignment that you have. Navbar and open message components. I saw what you are required to do. It's just basically this, and that is it. You are done. But because we are actually in a class and we want to get all this, I want you to utilize what you learned from the previous meetings that we had in here. So let's quickly go and add this Surface Go thing. What did we say it is? They are called products, right? Okay, so maybe we'll create a product component. How do we do that? We come into a component folder, we create a new file, we call it product. And remember, I use single words for all of them. So instead of product with S, I say product. You can call it whatever you want, but to feel more natural, we call it products. Okay, import React from React. Okay, and once we've imported React, we can also have our extend default, and we would say that what are we extending? So the class, what is the name that we want to give it? We want to give it a name called product, and this product would then extend. I think, sorry, this was export. Did any of you message me in the group that say you are making a wrong stuff here? Okay, so React.component. So React comes along with this component function that you can use wherever it is. You can just extend it and then be able to use it to avoid doing this thing. Okay, but for now, let's just stick with it. Remember, we also need a render method. And then this render method, again, expects us to have a return statement. And inside this, what are we trying to create? That is the open message, right? I think that is the product. So we can go back to our page that we want to create a component from and look at how it is. look at it. I think this will help us to explore some of the things that we learned. How to use JavaScript mapping to loop over items. Okay, so let's just scroll again. Let me scroll this down. Okay, so I think scroll up a bit to here. That is what is rendering the product, right? Let me just paste it in here and I'll show you how better to do this. We did this in class before, but I just want you to see something. What is it saying? It says that we are missing something corresponding closing tag for the div. So there's like a div that is not closed. Please help me figure it out. So I have a section here. Remember, once again, we have this height thing. I'm just going to cut it out. Okay. Remember, we have this height thing. So we are going to get that error. Who has been able to figure out that we have a closing div to close? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I don't think, is there a div that we need to close? Okay, let's just close a div. So let's close a div. Okay, let's see. Do we really need to close a div? Can any of you let me know what we are doing that is not right here? So we have a div call row. Within this div call row, we have first div. Okay, we have a second div, we have a third div, we have a fourth div, and we have a div again. So I think this div is going to be matching the previous div as here. Okay, so you know what I'm just going to do is that you see these are repeating themselves. 1, 2, they are just the same thing, just that the images might be changing. I do not know. Okay, so what I will do is to cut all of this. Okay, cut it off. Okay, so we have I think at this point we have maybe React is trying to communicate something to us. We need to listen. We have a section. Okay, the section has no corresponding closing tag. How? It has. And we have a div here. Is there anything I'm doing wrong? I need to figure this out. Are we doing something wrong? Can any of you just figure it out before me? That would be great. So we have a section.
Yeah, the section is like the opening tag of the section is not in line with the closing tag of the section. Can you check that?
In line
with the opening of the section was not with the closing of the section.
Okay, that's great, but it looks like that is not the issue we are having. Okay, let's see this. So we have image and we have closing tag. This is getting strange. How about we call this, we remove this entirely and see what are we missing. Okay. How about this? What is it saying? That div has no corresponding closing tag. Once again, we have a div here, div. You know what we should do? Maybe let's do this. I'll take this entire thing. I'm still wondering, what are we missing? Okay. And you know what? The good thing is that I didn't do this before showing it to you. I wanted to do everything with you so that we fall into the troubles together. We try to solve it and see how it goes. Let's see. Nothing is working, bro. Let's see. Is it that this I didn't spell it well? Again, you know what? Let's do a new div here. So we have a div with a class name. Oh, remember, all the classes should become class name. All right, so let's see whether that is the first error that we need to fix. Okay, that is not it. But we have a div with a class name. Okay, and this class might contain some classes and would have a closing pair of it. Okay, now I want to cut this off entirely. Okay, Let me cut it off. You know what? It's not from the thing. It's not from the. It's from this image that has been added. Looks like we have something we need to figure out that we haven't figured it out yet. So let's see how exactly can we get rid of this. Is it a paragraph that needs to go? Is it the image? There's something just missing. Just trying to cut this off. Let's figure this out together. Let me read the message one after the other. Maybe we might find out. So JSS interesting elements, React detail. JSS element div has no corresponding closing tag. How? I mean, can we do this? Maybe I should take off. Okay, this is also class. Let's give class name once again. And this is a div with class name. So it's still shouting and yelling at us that we don't have a closing tag. But I think it's also, I saw one message that came up. Is it just the div? Just so much confused why it is not allowing us to do what we want to do. Why don't we define another div? Okay, and paste in the div there. Wow, looks like the thing isn't going to work. What shall we do? Okay, I think I see some of you might have dropped a chat here. Okay, see what? How about indentation to the section and the parent divs? Do we have to copy the images into our components folder? Is there, wait a minute. Just a second, redoing everything. Okay, you know, let's assume that we do not have the image at all. Okay. And that we save our work. So SRC, I mean, the source image is still there. Okay, so we do not have. So what we can actually do if we want images in here is that we can also, if we want, we can import image, the specific image you want here. Okay, but I mean, if you can reference the image very well, it will still work just as normal. So maybe we need to go into, where are we now? Oh, I think everything would work. It will work the way it was. The only thing is that we need to figure out why this thing is yelling at us. Okay, so you know what? Let me peek into the problem. Oh, geez. Who can? I mean, no one, because I couldn't also figure it out. It's just this, you know, opening tags. You remember this? We did it in class, right? If you have a tag that doesn't have a corresponding closing tag, make sure to always bring this guy. You see, it took us forever for us to understand. So we all, as even, you know, mature programmers, we go through some of this stress together with you. Okay, so you are not alone, brothers. So let's go back and then fix our error. Let's paste in all the code into the product thing. I'll get back to work. Paste everything here. Now we know our error, right? First of all, we don't have a we need to have, like, I mean, closing tag for all the divs that we are adding. For every div, sorry, look at what I'm doing. I mean, this will go into the image. This will go into the image. This will go into the image. All right, so you see everything has been cleared, right? And this, we are getting a warning. I think we can leave it for now. Let me remove this. Sorry, let me remove this guy from there. Save our work. Go back to our browser. And it looks like our React application is loading, meaning nothing has failed yet, right? And you know we are exporting this, but we've not yet imported it, as in what we are using, right? So we solved it together, remember, and always remember to do it yourself. So I can go back to my app.js, which is like what is responsible for rendering everything. And then what did I just add? Let's import that. So we can just say import. What are we importing? We are importing the product component from components slash, what is the name? Product. So I can then copy the product here. And then, you know, the product is supposed to display after the open message. So we can put our components here. And then we go back to our page, see what is happening. They said not a string, for example, style, blah, blah, blah. So they are saying that when using EJX, we need to do it this way. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at how to do it without cutting it off. So we have a product. So what they are saying is that why don't we pass whatever we want like this? Okay, so you remember this, it seems we wrote this CSS before, right? So we have height. I think it's still crying. Let's see, what are we supposed to do? Let's see, just a second. So imagine we have two curly braces. No, I don't think that is what we need to do, right? I don't think this is what we need to do to get it to work. But either way, we know our solution number one is that we can have this of. Please put this as your, your own sheet to your work. Okay, it's height of 250. So I'll just do h of 250. You know I'm going to add it, right? So h250. I'll go back to my index.html, which is the one hosting application, and I can add another h of 250. Okay, h250, and I'll just create a class and paste in the height over there. This would save me a lot of time. We are just running. So we have three components: navbar component, open message component, and we have the product components. What other component do we expect to get? Our activities. Let's quickly add the activities. Okay, I think with this one, I'm going to use props, okay, so that you understand how to use props in your own project.